Well, how you going, everyone? Josh the Collector Guy. Hope you all had an awesome week yet again this week, ladies and gentlemen. Whatever you did, if you went to a flea market, swap meet, or even just popped into the shops and had a little look there and found some awesome cars for your collection. Hope you found some awesome cars this week, everyone. Hope you had an awesome week as well. Well, these are my finds for this week, ladies and gentlemen. Got lots of cool cars and magazines to share with you. Got a very cool Dale Earnhardt one just here. Share that one with you in a sec. Got awesome range of Dale Earnhardt and Dale Jr cars here. Got off eBay as well. Very cool indeed. And finally got the 1996 Atlanta Olympics paint scheme on his Mighty Monte Carlo. Finally got that one. Share them with you in a little bit as well. Got some lots of Hot Wheels and Matchboxes here off eBay. Very cool indeed. Great little range of cars just there. I'll get to them a little bit later in the vid. And probably one of my holy grails, the Speed Machines Lowdown / Monte Carlo Stocker. Well, it's called Lowdown, so the old Speed Machines Lowdown. Finally got that one for the collection. I got my French one and my Hong Kong made one too, to compare the variations between each and every one of them. I'll share them with you though at the end of the vid. But first up, we'll start off with the Dale Earnhardt stuff. Finally got a little piece of Dale Earnhardt literature for the collection. It's done by Beckett. It was a tribute. When I first saw it, I thought, oh, obviously they did that around 2002 or whatever, 2001, after he passed away. But turns out that the book was actually made in '95, which was after his record-tying 7th Winston Cup championship. So that's pretty cool. As you can see, '94 Winston Cup champion Dale Earnhardt, and it was his last ever championship as well. So I reckon this book's pretty cool, pretty special. I know I'm a big Dale Earnhardt fan. It's real special to me. So lots of cool little bits of information in here, lots of photos as well with his wife there. I think that's Teresa Earnhardt. Very cool. See lots of little pictures when he first won his first NASCAR championship right up to his last. So very cool. Little photos in here and everything of his mighty race cars, and including of the great man himself. There's even a price guide section at the back here for his trading cards, even for his diecast as well, which is pretty cool. I need to have a little bit more of a better flick through it to have a little look to see what I do have and compare it up. Very cool. Need one of those for the collection, the old Matchbox ones. Even some numbers about him as well, some little bits of information about the great man. And his Mighty Monte Carlo on the back there, and really cool little artwork here on the back page as well. And his Mighty Lumina, probably one of my favourite race cars of Dale Earnhardt. So that was pretty cool. Got that off an Australian seller, which was a bit odd. I thought I'd have to get it from America, but very glad to add that to the collection. Glad to have a little bit of literature for Dale Earnhardt now. But it won't be the last. I certainly will be tracking down more magazines of his. Which leads us to his cars now. Got the old white gold variation of his Monte Carlo. I do have a gold one, which is just over here. We'll track over to my other side of my room. How come one of my cars is on the floor? There it is there, the old gold chrome. Good to have a different variation in the white chrome in the collection now. So I'll be keeping that one boxed away though, because of the way it looks and everything. I don't want it to get scratched or even dust on it really. It's limited to 5,000 though, which I'm surprised at. I thought it'd be a lot less. Now probably my all-time favourite, or one of my all-time favourite paint schemes of Dale Earnhardt, the 1996 Atlanta Olympics paint scheme. Now this was done to commemorate the 100 years of the Olympics back in 1996, which was held at Atlanta. How cool is that? They did it in red, white and blue. And he used the paint scheme in the All-Star race, which is called the Winston back then. So very cool indeed. Have a little look at her. Very nice indeed. Absolutely love it. I do have another one in the collection, which is just right up there. That's done by Revell though, so it's good to have a different variation of it in the old colour chrome. I love the colour chrome finish, action and Lionel do on the NASCAR cars. It's very cool. Now which leads us to Dale Jr.'s car, the old Nationwide Series Camaro. he has used many a time in the Nationwide series of the NASCAR. Very cool looking car. When you mix Earnhardt together and Camaro, you know you got something cooking there. You probably got some of the greatest race cars ever to come out. Very cool indeed. It's got opening flaps, the boot, or the trunk, and the bonnet opens, which is really cool. It's got like a wire mesh there on the window in colour chrome, and it is limited to 136, believe it or not, so it's quite a low production car. Glad to add it to the collection. Won't be displaying this one though because of its low number and probably the rarity of it as well, but glad to add a Dale Jr car to the collection in 1/24 scale. Very happy about that. Now we get to the lots of cars I got off eBay this week as well. Got lots of oddball ones in the mix, like there's ones I had to buy to get certain ones of another, but you'll soon see anyway. Got the old, I think this is an Erdl, looks like Uncle Jesse's pickup truck from Dukes of Hazzard. That one's quite weighty. Old Matchbox Corvette there. Not a bad looking Lamborghini Countach, old made in England one, so one of the older Matchboxes as everyone knows. Quite unusual as well. Got the old, I think this is 0G, this is called. It's done by Matchbox, believe it or not. It was a track set they did back in in the 90s anyway. It's quite unusual seeing Matchbox doing track sets and that. I know I do have a triple loop set done by Matchbox in the collection. It's somewhere in one of the cupboards anyway. Like Matchbox seem to do more of the, how do you say, like construction stuff and that sort of stuff these days now, but back then they did do stuff like that, which is quite cool. And look how thin those tyres are. I reckon and it's quite light as well. It's all made out of plastic. I don't know how well it would have done on the track, but still pretty cool. Got some Matchbox Corvettes here. Very nice. Glad to add these two to the Matchbox Corvette collection. I've got quite a few of them now. Love this vet. Very tough indeed. Love the old paint scheme as well. Now we get to this lot here, and probably won't dwell on them too much, just two random ones. Already had this one, so I really had to get, well, these three plus the lowdown were a part of a set. I had to get it for, well, I already got this one, but who doesn't love the 3-window 34? I know I quite like it, and in the Real Riders as well. Had to get it to pretty much get the lowdown, but at the end of the day, they're all still pretty cool cars. We'll talk about the 3-window 34 though. Got the old grey hub. Probably quite a hard car to find, in my opinion. I have heard it is quite hard to find. And especially the white hub one. Oh, we won't get started about that one. That one's quite hard to find as well. I do have a Blackwall version of this from when I was a kid, believe it or not. I remember playing with it, trashing it all the time. I'm pretty sure the headlights are going off her. I remember throwing her in the tub downstairs in the water and everything, and just playing with her in the sandpit, but she's still alright. I think her high rake part still works, her wheels still sort of spin, I believe, so it's pretty cool that I still have something from my childhood. Well, I've still got all my cars from my childhood, but always the ones you play with the most always bring the greatest memories, so very cool. Glad to have the grey hub version, or another grey hub version of this one now anyway. Really cool looking hot rod. Got the old Planet Micro cars done by Hot Wheels. Got an old Jag here. Very nice looking car, very cool. The old cat dump truck. Quite cool indeed. They did come with their little legs, but I took them out. A lot easier to show you this way. And the old Pontiac Grand Prix driven by Kyle Petty, but it doesn't have his racing number on it, so that one's really cool. Probably my favourite of the bunch. Probably Hot Wheels' answer to Micro Machines, I guess. I'm not sure how far down the track Hot Wheels did the Micro Machine cars compared to actual Micro Machines, but still really cool to have in the collection. They did pretty good detail on all the cars, as you can see, for quite small cars. They all got metal bases. Very nice indeed. Glad to add them to the collection. Now we'll drift back to the bubble gunners here. Got the old Plum bubble gunner. Replaces a bit of a damaged one I had in the collection, so that one's very cool. Always been one of my favourite cars, the bubble gunner. It reminds me of Ed Roth, the old the hot rodder guy back from the 60s. He did Beatnik Bandit and many other show cars back in the day. And the old green one here, believe it or not, I do have a green one. And I remember back when I first started collecting and I went to my diecast, my first ever diecast swap meet, it was one of my first vintage Hot Wheels I picked up, and I paid quite a high price for it, but I did get a whole heap of cars thrown in with it, and I did get some quite pricey cars thrown in with it too, so I guess it kind of balanced itself out at the end of the day. So always be one of my greatest memories with this car anyway, so very cool indeed. As I said, one of my more favourite models. And got the old Speed Machines variation just here. As you can see, there's a big difference between the two already in the details. Got the old plastic base. Back in the day, the Speed Machines weren't marketed as Hot Wheels, they were just marketed as a car release, or diecast car release from Mattel. As you can see on the bottom one there, it's got Hot Wheels Bubble Gunner, whereas just there it's just got Bubble Gunner. You can see that's a black plastic base, that one's a die-cast metal base. The engine doesn't sit in there correctly, it seems a bit loose unless it's broken over time, but they were more cheaply made, the Speed Machines, compared to the usual Hot Wheels. I guarantee this one would beat that in a drag race any day of the week because of how light it is. Like, as I said, they weren't really made to high standard compared to the usual Hot Wheels. They all had plastic bases and probably plastic parts, like the usual counterparts of the original car, but some of the original cars did have die-cast bases like this one just here, so pretty cool. I know a lot of collectors probably don't look at them twice, but I do like the Speed Machines. It's probably one of my more challenging series to collect from Hot Wheels, which leads us to one of the ones I've been after for a very, very, very long time, the old low-down Speed Machine in red, my favourite colour. As you can see, I've got my French one here. I'll compare the bases between the two. There's a serial number on the base of the Speed Machine one, which is the same as the French made one here. As you can see, Hot Wheels isn't put on the base. It just says Low Down Malaysia, and they've used little bars to block out Hot Wheels and everything like that. So it's very cool to see how Hot Wheels have marketed their cars over the years, and even not marketing them as Hot Wheels at all. Now we'll compare the normal Hot Wheel to it. As you can see, Hot Wheels, Hong Kong, foreign patent pending, and as you can see, the standard base of the Speed Machine. So quite some different little bits of Hot Wheels history there. Got the usual Hong Kong made one, the more probably better quality conditioned car compared to the French one. The French one was cheaply made as well. As you can see, it's just got a basic base on it and that, but they do seem to weigh the same compared to this one's a lot, well, seems a little bit more lighter. Probably has something to do with the base. So been after that for a very long time. The Speed Machines are quite hard to find in my experience. I haven't been able to find many at all. I think I've only got 3 in the collection, which is the Bubble Gunner, the Lowdown, and also I got a Teetotaler in one of my boxes. So they are quite hard to find in my experience. I don't know about any of you guys and girls out there. They might be a lot easier. Probably depends. Probably in America you might be able to find them a little bit better, but that's just my opinion anyway. Well, that leads us to the end of the vid today, everyone. I know the NASCAR's on at the moment. They're at Bristol. I'm quite keen to get back to the TV and see how it's all going. I know it started probably around an hour ago now, but go Chevy, that's what I say all the time. But I guess whoever wins, they deserve to win. So anyway, that's enough of me jabbering on this week, everyone. Hope you enjoyed as always. Really do appreciate the positive comments, and really do appreciate everyone tuning in each and every week who subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much. Always appreciate the kind comments, people liking, doing whatever on the vid. I really do appreciate it. Thank you very much, guys and girls. Thank you very much indeed. Well, that's it for this week, ladies and gentlemen. Really hope you did enjoy, and remember, as always, everyone, happy hunting. Keep the hobby strong. See you later, everyone. Have an awesome week, and go Chevy.